Hi, I'm Kevin, a speech-language pathologist here at Super Duper Publications, and this is the Weber Functional Communication Game, filled with expressive and receptive language games using PCS symbols, and it's designed for children grades pre-K to 12th grade. And with this, we can teach nonverbal students to communicate using the Mayer-Johnson Boardmaker picture communication symbols using these fun, amusing, and motivating games. With this, we cover 11 topic areas. These areas include places, playgrounds and parks, hygiene, senses, feelings, around town with transportation and community helpers, objects, small group that covers weather and seasons and days of the week, food, drink, school, and social. And we have 5 game formats that cover daily topics, and these allow the students with varying motor and verbal communication skills to participate in games that they otherwise would not be allowed to participate in due to that limited verbal or those fine motor abilities. Now, if we take a look at the first one, we have the Functional World of Communication game. This is going to be a game board format. You're also going to have different game pawns, which the students will move around the game board when they're answering questions correctly. To use the game board, what we're going to do is you'll notice in the box, they're neatly organized and they're color-coded by topic area. We can select a topic. Say this one is for around town and transportation. Now we'll ask a question, and when the student responds correctly, they'll press the button in the middle. That will determine how many spaces they move around the game board, and they can also earn tokens when answering the questions correctly. But let's take a look at one of the cards. On the back, you'll notice we have 4 different response levels. These are going to include one which is a fill in the blank, such as walk to the corner and wait at the sign to catch the, and the student will fill in the bus. We also have number 2, which is a question. What is yellow and takes children to and from school? The third one will be a sentence or a statement or direction, which will say, show me something that takes children to and from school and makes frequent stops. And of course, the last prompt, we have, do you take a bus or an airplane to school? Now, if the student has limited verbal skills, then they can actually provide that one-word response. If they're nonverbal and they need a little additional help communicating, what we can do is actually use the game board, and then we can track their eye movement or have them actually point to the correct response. Also, we can use the picture communication symbols that once again here are neatly organized in the game box and actually have those laid out so that the student has choices when answering those questions. Another game format will be spinning with communication. And in this game format, we're not going to use the game board. We'll use the spinner, and we'll use our topic stimulus cards. We'll take a card, and with this also, we're going to use our game boards. Once again, provide the question to the student at whatever question level you want, whether it's fill in the blank, asking a question, asking them to follow a direction, etc. And then they're going to use the game board to correctly identify that answer. Once they've done that correctly, they can use the spinner. Once the lights stop, that's going to indicate how many foam tokens they receive. And then the student with the most foam tokens is the winner. Another format that we have is where we're going to use the game boards or the communication boards for communication bingo, lotto, and tic-tac-toe. Now we can use these as receptive tasks where we're simply going to ask a question from our stimulus cards and the student will just respond by pointing, understanding that they've understood the concept and they're pointing to the actual answer. Or we can do it expressively where we ask the same prompt question and then they'll actually use some of the cards that you choose for them to pick up, hand to you, and this is their form of communicating the correct answer. Now you may want to use 2 cards, 3 cards, 4 cards, however many cards that you can put out there to limit the distractibility of the student, but also give them a challenging yet successful attempt when doing these activities. Now for the lotto, what we're going to do, or for the bingo, once the student correctly answers 3 in a row, whether that be vertical, horizontal, or diagonal, then they're the winner for that game. For lotto, we'll use the same format, but what we're going to do now is have the student complete and cover up all of the squares on the game board to be a winner with the lotto. And then of course, as we're using this for tic-tac-toe, that's a little more interactive from student to student. We'll have 2 students using the same game board. However, they'll be using different colored foam markers. So each student will use their colored foam marker to place on the game board, and then once you've completed either 3 yellow squares in a row or 3 purple squares in a row, then of course you're the winner of the tic-tac-toe game. Keep in mind that the students will use the foam squares as markers when playing the bingo, lotto, and tic-tac-toe games, and they'll use the game pawns to move around the game board when playing the board game, and also press the spinner to earn foam squares as rewards when answering questions appropriately. The Weber Functional Communication Game includes 44 double-sided communication boards, 11 topic areas with 2 different boards per topic and 9 pictures per board, 396 question cards targeting receptive and expressive skills, that's 198 receptive and 198 expressive cards, an electronic spinner, game markers, a game board, and foam bingo squares. Now, not only is this great to teach augmentative communication to nonverbal students, but it's also a wonderful tool to work with preschoolers with language delays, children with autism or hearing impairment, and even those children who respond well to visual cues. Now, I will mention one last thing. The instruction book will also include photo index of all the different topic areas and picture symbols for easy selection of your materials for that session. To learn more about the Weber Functional Communication Game, please visit our website, superduperinc.com, and even check out our Facebook page. We would love for you to share your thoughts and ideas on how you could use this product with your students.